want to talk about a larger question here. We've discussed the website issue, but there seems to be this growing perception, and some of it is via press reports, some of it's your staff, that you're not always on top of some things, or this idea that you didn't know certain things. So, for instance, we talked about the website. Did the warnings get to your desk or not? NSA. Did you really not know we were tapping Angela Merkel's phone until Edward Snowden leaked it?
Well, look, these are two different issues. First of all, I can guarantee you that I've been more deeply involved in our intelligence operations on a whole set of areas where there are real threats against us than just about any president. Or let me put it this way, as much as any president. When I am presented intelligence, particularly if it pertains to allies like Germany, I'm not poking and probing about where you get certain information.
You didn't know this until after you learned it.
If we're talking about Al-Qaeda, if we're talking about other states that pose a threat to the United States, then not only am I interested in the information, but also how we obtained it, because that's very relevant. There's no doubt when it comes to the NSA generally that over the last 30, 40, 50 years, we have tried to extend our intelligence capabilities all around the world. That's what every intelligence agency does. What's changed is technology. What's changed is capacity. We're just so much better than anybody else at this. And technology has given us so much more reach than in the past.
So your job's to create restraint?
Now we've got to adapt the architecture of what we do to our capacity. In some ways, the technology and the budgets and the capacity have outstripped the constraints. And we've got to rebuild those in the same way that we're having to do on a whole series of capacities. Military, what we do in terms of our drone operations. So that's a whole big piece of business. But this idea that somehow every president is looking at the raw intelligence and figuring out what sources those are, that's just not the case. I think that my previous reputation was that I was this policy wonk that was digging into stuff all the time.
I know us in the media, we have to change every 6 months. Conventional wisdom.
And was immersed in the details. I think that stereotype is probably a little more true than the latest one. But